In Book 3, Waiting for Death, Chapter 30 of Middlemarch, Casaubon recovers from his heart attack. Lydgate tells Dorothea Casaubon could live 15 or more years, only if he avoids mental agitation of all kinds. Then, Dorothea reads Will's letter to his cousin, which reiterates his intention to make his own way in England. He asks if he may visit to drop off his friend's painting of Casaubon. Dorothea asks her uncle to write to him and beg him not to come. Mr. Brooke writes to Will, but invites him to come to Tipton Grange instead, thinking he will be good company now that Celia is getting married. He doesn't mention the Casaubons. In Chapter 31, Lydgate is asked by Mrs. Vincey to tell her husband that Featherstone has taken a turn for the worse. When he delivers the message, Rosamond is home alone, and in no time at all, Lydgate embraces her. She confesses her feelings, and he proposes to her. In Chapter 32, in Mr. Featherstone's house, relatives expecting to be left money all come and go. His unscrupulous relatives hound Peter Featherstone, even on his deathbed, that he should not leave his money to strangers, meaning his relatives through marriage, Fred and Mary. In Chapter 33, Mary Garth worries about Fred because despite Featherstone's fondness for him, she doesn't think the old man means to leave him any money. Featherstone summons Mary to his side at 3 o'clock in the morning, commanding her to retrieve a will from his iron chest. He says there are 2 wills, and he means to burn one. Mary refuses, and he tries to bribe her with money and gold. He asks her to get Fred, but she will do so only if she can also call his nephew Jonah. Featherstone refuses, and she refuses to touch the iron chest or will. Featherstone finally gives up, and shortly after, he dies. Fred Vincey is there not as one of the family's money vultures, but rather a concerned visitor. Mary has an unimpeachable character and cannot be bribed into doing Featherstone's bidding. She knows she's under suspicion in the eyes of the relatives, and she's determined to do nothing that can stain her reputation. Featherstone is an immoral man, and she refuses to be drawn into his deathbed scheming.